it is Kitty Blue. It is January the 17th, and I'm going to be doing another doll body comparison video. So in this video, I have all my vinyl dolls, including ABS doll and a Cortex doll from Smart Doll. So I'm going to kind of just go overview and then kind of show you the details as far as the posing and the joints. So from the left, we have a Hujoo. She is no longer available. She is about almost 62 centimeters, like 61 centimeters. I think she's listed as 60 centimeters. And she is ABS plastic. We have two Smart Doll boys. They are made of vinyl. They are about 61 centimeters tall. We have the Smart Doll Cortex, which is a plastic. We have a Smart Doll girl who is vinyl. We have a Dolphie Dream Dynamite, a Obitsu 50 centimeter, and an Obitsu 47 centimeter. All three of those are actually all vinyl as well. I do have some other dolls that are down here. These are Smart Dolls. I'm going to be showing a comparison of the bust sizes that are available to purchase with your Smart Doll. So we're just going to start from the beginning with our Hujoo, which is ABS plastic. So ABS plastic, this is a very hard plastic. It is very thick. It's probably as thick, yeah, it's probably about as thick as a resin, but I feel like it's heavier than resin. I think it's because some of these pieces are a lot thicker than a resin doll. The cool thing about this doll is that it comes with these rubber silicone kind of pieces in the shoulders to help out posability. And inside the joints, like in the bust here, is a rubber along here that will allow you to let your doll do things like this. Not that that's attractive looking, but with clothes on, it's not that big of a deal. So we're just going to go over the body here. Like I said, there is a cap in here to keep that to where you can kind of pose that in different areas. Usually with a resin doll, you can either stick it straight out and straight up and straight down, but the in-between, with this one, the in-between, for some reason, this isn't catching. It was at some point, I'd have to, oh, no, there we go. So it's not completely straight out, but not straight down either. But most resin dolls, you can't have different angles. It's usually just straight up, straight down. So it's nice that they have that. In the elbow, it's a double jointed elbow. And be very careful with these, they will pinch. So when I push that out, it is a peanut joint. On the ends of both peanuts is a rubber, silicone rubber. I'm not sure what kind of rubber that is, or vinyl. So that helps it pose nicely. Doesn't snap. You notice that it does have a 3-part torso. This means nothing because this joint does nothing. There is no different mobility that you can get with this piece. It is strung, so even though it is ABS, it is strung. It does not have an internal skeleton. The rest of the dolls that are in the video have internal skeletons. And then the legs also have this whole back piece right here. Right here is rubber. So that will allow you to kind of let the leg stay in place. This is the animal version. They had a human version as well, but I just got the animal version. Kind of wish I would have gotten the human version. But it does have double joints in the knees. You're not going to get the healing position because, or the kneeling position, unless you kind of move that awkwardly. But that's in the way. There is a mobility joint here, and there's a mobility joint at the top of the thigh. So, so like this mobility joint, I mean, it's not very attractive the way that this can turn, because you don't really want to have your leg. She's so tall, it's hard to reach it in the video. So you probably don't want her leg to be in that angle. But this allows it to be able to stand. Oh, I never actually thought about that, but yeah. I moved her leg a little bit sideways, and she stands really good. Alright, so we're going to move on to the Smart Doll Boys. Oh. Side to side is kind of a little awkward. You can do it a little bit or a lot because of that rubber piece that's in there. It stays. Okay. Alright, so Smart Doll Boys. That was my doll that fell off of the tote I put it in. Okay, so Smart Doll Boys are vinyl. The difference between the two boys, you have a Macho body, which has, it's kind of strange, but the chest here is narrower than the slim body, but it's the arms that are thicker. So if I put these down together, you can see that there is lots more muscle in the shoulder and arms than the slim body. I personally like the slim body because these are pretty huge joints. And as you see, he has one arm because I cannot get his other arm in. I have to have my husband help me. And I will show you his arm. So this is the arm. This is the peg that comes, this is part of the internal skeleton. There is a slit here that this slides around in. And this piece, I think, is longer than the girls. But the internal skeleton piece is the same in the girls as the boys. So I find that it's hard. It's very easy to pop the arms off if you move them the wrong way or too fast. At least in my experience so far. I'm not sure if other people have this problem. Okay, so in order to put this arm back in, I have to squeeze this shut like this and then plug it into the hole that is inside there. I cannot do this on my own because I don't have a lot of hand strength or finger strength. I can't push this together and hold the doll and push this in. So, I have to have my husband do that for me. And he is not here. Alright, so the joints are going to be the same in the boys as the girls as far as posability, except for the fact, like I said, with the boy arms, you want to watch out when you're moving them around. You want to kind of do it very slowly so you don't pop those arms out. I haven't popped my girls' arms out accidentally, so I think they're probably fine. Alright, so the arms are double jointed. So they have this like ball joint that is attached to the inner skeleton that has, I guess you would call it a hinge. It's got a swivel, it's more of a swivel joint, like a swivel here to where this will actually bend. The motion in the wrist and in the hands is nice. So you've got quite a bit of movement in the hands, which is cool, and it stays in place. The bust will go side to side, probably not that far, and then backwards and forwards, so it can go into a decent slouch. The legs have no problem like sitting. You can't just like get it to like keep the leg out. It just will slide back down. But they will go into a seating position. Okay, the legs, unfortunately, are only single jointed. So that's as far as you're going to get. The foot has some decent posability there. But yeah, this leg, unfortunately, single joints have their issues. Or I shouldn't say issues, but limitations. That's the word I'm looking for. So the slim body is going to be the exact same. It's no different than the girl bodies, and no different. And this one's not any different than the other body, except for, like I said, the arms and the chest are different. So we're just going to put him aside. And we're going to move on to our Smart Doll girls. I'm going to move her down. And then put these up here. Oh no, she's got a spot on her leg. To get that off. Alright. Her up here. Her. And her. Oh. Lean. Alright. Okay, so first we're going to start off with this one. This is the Cortex. This is called the Crystal Cortex because it's clear. You can actually use a polish on this to make it even clearer, but I chose to just leave it like this. You can sort of see the internal skeleton on the inside. So the internal skeleton is the same. She is just made out of plastic. Her range of motion as far as posability is a little bit less because the seams right here actually pull apart. So these aren't like these aren't pieces that are like, this isn't all one piece like it would be a vinyl or resin doll. It actually has seams that open up. People do glue this together, but I chose not to glue it together because and just in case I have to take her apart and change any of her skeleton pieces. So with the Cortex, I find the mobility in the elbow and in the bust the biggest difference between that and the vinyl. So, moving on to the vinyl, we've got 5 girls here, and the reason why I have 5 girls out is because they all have different busts on them. So we're going to grab this one right here. This is the default bust. So it is a smaller bust. This is the size of bust you will get with all of the dolls that are on the Smart Doll website. The bust options are separate. So you can't choose your doll with a particular bust size. You have to actually buy the extra bust to put on your doll. So that is, like I said, the default. And then next we have the push-up bust. So this is basically like a shape that if you had a clear bra on, if you have breasts that are large enough to do this type of a push-up, this is what it would look like in a push-up bra. So that is that. It's not very attractive without clothes on. With clothes on, it's actually not so bad. So we're going to try and put her here. Hopefully not domino. Alright, then we're going to pull this one out. This one is the medium bust. Okay, and this next one is also medium bust, but if you'll notice the difference, she actually has a slope and she has nipples on the bust piece. I actually purchased this bust piece off of Mandarake because they do not sell these on the Smart Doll website anymore. This used to be, I believe, the bust that they used to have on their dolls, and they changed to the smooth bust without the nipple. So that is the only difference, but you can tell just a little bit, it just slopes up a little bit more into the point for the nipple. But that is also the medium size. Alright, and last we have the large bust. And I'll do a comparison with the large bust and the Dolphie Dream Dynamite that I have here in a minute. I'm just going to put these hopefully here and hope none of them fall into each other. Okay, so now you can see the different bust sizes. There was a extra small bust that they had. There is I believe there's a PDF or there's a file, a digital file that you can download and create a 3D printed extra small bust. And they actually did have larger busts than the large here. They had extra large and I believe XX large. But those are not available on the website. That's something that you would have to either find secondhand or find somebody to 3D print for you. So that is the Smart Dolls. You can also, just real quick, you can tell that there are currently 4 different colors. Actually, technically 6, because they have the crystal clear Cortex that I showed you earlier. They have the Coco, Tea, Milk. Milk is now discontinued, and they have Cinnamon. They also have the Blue that most recently has been shown on the Smart Doll website, but those dolls have not been released yet. So they will have 6, counting the Crystal Cortex, Milk, and Blue. But right now, the only ones that colors that you can get is the Coco, Tea, and Cinnamon. Okay, move these girls out of the way. All right, so next we're going to go with the Dolphie Dream Dynamite, and there are quite a few differences with the Dolphie Volks dolls and the Smart Dolls. They have, the Dolphie Dreams have a different internal skeleton than the Smart Dolls do. This is the Dolphie Dream Dynamite, so she has a really large, extra sized bust, and her hips are bigger than the standard Dolphie. And they have several different Volks vinyl dolls. That's the only one that I have, so I can't really tell you about the rest of them. I think there's a sister and there's a few other ones, MDD, which is the MSD size. But this is just a comparison of the Smart Doll and the Dolphie Dream Dynamite. They're almost the same height. You can tell the heads are a little bit different sized. The Dolphie heads, I think, are a little bit more rounded, whereas the Smart Dolls are kind of more oval kind of shape. And you can tell, like, from these two at least, that, like I said, the bust and the hips are different. And the feet are also shaped differently as well. But I feel like the mobility is probably about the same. We're going to go ahead and look at that now. Set the Smart Doll aside. Alright, so there is the Smart Doll, or the Dolphie Dream Dynamite. This is the F3 body. I think that's right. But it has a different mechanism on the side. It actually has this like swivel joint that kind of, this will move up and down. I don't want to do it too much because I don't know how sturdy it is. But this is the posability as far as the elbow. This will like pop out like this if you push these together because you can see these vinyl pieces are kind of, you just push that back in. Unfortunately, unlike the Smart Dolls, this bust does not move side to side at all. This is it. And it does not go backwards or forwards because the bust part, or I'm sorry, the torso part here goes up into the chest, so there's no way for this to have that mobility like the Smart Dolls. I like the hippiness of this Dolphie Dream Dynamite. I kind of wish for a smaller bust with this body shape, but that is my personal preference. But that posability really, really kills it in that joint. So this is going to be the same, sort of the same as a Smart Doll. And we have single jointed legs. So that is all you're going to get for that. And it has the same like swivel kind of joint on the knees and in the wrists. Oh, right. So that is it for the Dolphie Dream Dynamite. Now we're going to go to, last ones are the Obitsu dolls. So this is the 50 centimeter and the 47 centimeter. You can tell right off that the head for this particular one is very, very small. Compared to Dolphie's and Smart Dolls, this head is really small. It's more of an MSD, like resin, like size head. And this one is a custom Obitsu head. I don't remember which number it is. It's not any of the ones that are on the website. But it was a custom doll that I got off of Mandarake. The internal skeleton, I believe, is different in these two dolls because of the height. So the pieces for the legs and everything are going to be different. But it still has the same mechanics as far as the joints in the knees and everything. But you can definitely tell the difference in the size. Oh, and I actually have, this is actually the default bust for the 47 centimeter. It is a smaller bust, but I purchased the large bust as well, which isn't large, it's more like kind of a medium. So you can get different busts for them. Alright, so we're going to look at the mechanics of the body. So, side to side, we've got a decent range because this is a soft vinyl, so this is going to be much easier to pose into different positions with that skeleton than a Dolphie Dream and a Smart Doll because the vinyl is much thicker in that torso piece. So the arms are really nice. They have some decent range of motion. The slouch, if they were to slouch forward, they don't have very much of a slouch forward, and the bend back kind of creates a fold here in the vinyl. So this is different. So they almost have, this is their joint. So they've got the, not quite swivel, it's almost like a hinge joint. And this doesn't like come all the way out. So it's more like a peanut joint like a resin doll has, but it's not obviously elastic. These are the pieces that it swivels on. The hands, I do not like their hands because the hands only move, they move like side to side instead of like if I want to try and put her hand up, it's kind of moving to the side, not up, because of where the joint and the wrist is. That is the leg upwards. They have sort of a double joint, but that is about as far as it goes. So it goes farther than It goes farther than the Dolphie or Smart Doll, which was more like just like that, but it still doesn't go into that full touching because of these pieces. They do have a tendency to squeak a little, and this isn't very attractive. These are actually plastic. They are not vinyl. And then you've got the feet. They don't have a big range of motion, but somewhat. So there we have it. I'm not going to go too much into this because this body is going to be the exact same posability wise. Back and forth, not as much as a Smart Doll. That is because this torso or the bust piece is longer, whereas the Smart Doll is right underneath the bust. But these joints and the knees and the elbows are the exact same as the 50 centimeter. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, take care, and I'll see you later.